What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and welcome to my season 2, episode 8 recap for The Shy, and it's Lean Into It. Now, let's get into it. Now, when we first check in, we see Brandon, and he's trying to put together the countertops and the remodel in the kitchen when he hears a knock on the door. So he goes to the door, and lo and behold, is Detective Cruz, and he's trying to talk to him about what's going on, but Brandon ain't trying to hear it. He said, "So what are you here for?" And Detective Cruz was trying to tell him. He said, "So did you find my brother?" He said, "Look, let me come inside and talk." So he's telling him, "Look, it's an investigation on you about that taco truck and the mob." He said, "Man, I'm trying to open up a restaurant. I'm not into that." He said, "Well, look, Brandon, it's a lot of people paying money to 63rd Street mob. You got a new truck. Where's all this money coming from?" And then Brandon says, "I got an investor. If you must know, it's Otis Perry." He said, "All right, well, I'm just giving you a heads up." He said, "Go find who put the dude to kill my brother in jail." Later, he goes home and he sees Jerica. She's up with these dishes. She said, "What does this plate do for you?" He said, "It's white." She says, "Yeah, but does it bring you joy?" And so he's like, no, what is this all about?" And so she's trying to find herself, and she's still struggling with, not working anymore. And he said, "Look, take your time. You don't have to figure it all out in one day." And so she's trying to figure herself out. Meanwhile, at school, we see Mr. Bookman getting all the kids together, and Papa happy saying, "Man, it's finally happening." He said, "Man, this is whack." He said, "Would you rather be studying the Revolutionary War?" And so while they leaving, Mr. Bookman asked Kevin as his mom looked over that paperwork. He said, nah, she ain't had time yet. So later, we see Kev, and he's going to talk with Duda. And so he's telling him, "Hey, a police officer told me all this stuff." And he said, "So did you tell him about our business?" He said, "Yeah, why shouldn't I?" He said, "I wish you wouldn't have done that. You can't be that stupid, Brandon." And so Brandon is looking, and he's saying, "What are you saying? My money? You don't want my money?" He's saying, "Yeah." So he smiled. He said, "That's good. Well, just give me my money back plus 20% interest, or we can go after your dream, a brick and mortar across from your old restaurant. How's that sound?" And so Brandon started thinking. Meanwhile, we see Jake and Kevin, and they in the bathroom when Jake, this one boy, come out the bathroom after peeing and give him some money. He said, "I don't want your dick dollars. Wash your hands." And next thing you know, we see Jake got these dub sacks he's selling. And so he telling Kevin the deal. And so right when he do, the door knock, and he hears the teacher. So they drop it. They hurry up, put it in Kevin's bag. And so Mr. Bookman like, "What y'all doing?" They nothing. And then they leave. So meanwhile, we see Ronnie, and he's with Jordan, and he's over there with the baby, and he's playing with her, and he bought a little Lion King. He like, "Hey, I like the Lion King. Jason liked it. That's why I bought it." And so he say, "How about you let him meet the grandma?" She like, "I don't know, Ronnie." He say, "I know you can use a break, and I get you those brochures about the nursing school." She said, "All right, I guess so, for a couple hours." He said, "All right, you gonna meet your great grand Miss Ethel." And so, meanwhile, we see in the hood, it's an ambulance with Big Mike walking away. And so we see he come and talking to Reg, and he said, "Man, that's Peaches, man. She OD'd. They gonna take her to the hospital." He said, "Fire up the G-Wagon, man. We gonna go check, man. I told nobody sell to her." Meanwhile, we see Jerica, and now she's talking with the crooked alderman. And so she's telling him that get an apartment for that lady she was trying to help. And she said, "Everybody knows you crooked. I know it personally, and I'd hate to go and tell everybody." And so he's saying, "You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't throw Miss Brown and yourself under the bus." She said, "I don't work for them no more. And what you need is to try to help her out, and I'll make sure that you get the right publicity so that it helps you in your race for alderman." So how's that? Meanwhile, we see Emmett, and we see Sonny talking, and Sonny back, and he Emmett trying to apologize. He had a little envelope of money. He said, "I'm gonna help with the deductible." And Sonny said, "Man, I don't need your money. I ain't call you here for that. Actually, the insurance money was pretty good, and I want to offer you a job." He said, "What, back in the kitchen?" He said, "No, ain't nobody putting you by no grease. But what I would do, you a good worker. You saved my life. I'm going to make you a manager." He said, "I don't know. I got to think about it." He said, "Okay. Talk with your financial team. You trying to negotiate. I understand. I'll holler at you." Meanwhile, we see the kids, the shorties, finally making it to the shared aquarium. And they pull up downtown at Lake Michigan, and Jake is like, wow, is that the ocean? And Papa and Kev laugh. They say, this boy don't know the difference between the lake and the ocean. That's Lake Michigan. And while they standing at the bus, they see this luxury bus pull up with the Northside Academy kids coming. And they like, man, who won y'all fundraiser? And the little girl said, fundraiser? What's that? And then Papa like, man, we really are the broke little ghetto kids, man, from the hood. This is messed up. And then Mr. Bookman tell him, here, Kevin, you left your book bag. You got to take it with you. And so they took it with them. They go inside the aquarium. They checking it out. And while they looking at the fish, Mr. Bookman start to call all the kids over and separate them into groups. And he separates Jake and Papa and Kev. And so Kev say, man, that ain't fair. We already got a group. Why you separating us? He said, look, you guys can survive for one day. Here's your new friend. And so he shows him the other kid. He like, hi. And so he looking at him like, man, this nerd. We see Brandon talking with his cousin and Gravy. And Gravy say, boy, you better pay dude out that money. I told you, boy. You better ask your girlfriend, daddy, to get the money. He said, man, I can't do that because I got to tell her everything. He said, yeah, and they know. He said, oh, they know, huh? Is that what happened with your lip? How your lip blew up? He said, man, I don't know, man. It just, inflated and blew up like a life raft, man. I don't know what happened. But anyway, forget all of that. And then Gravy like, look, man, I know a way you can get the money. I see these infomercials on TV at night. You can sell one of your kidneys and get the money. And so his cousin like, man, he on one, but he got a point. And he like, what you mean? He said, what you should do is sell whatever's got your name on it. What do you have that's worth anything with your name on it besides the truck? He like, well, I could sell this building. And Gravy like, oh, hell no, man. Hell. He like, look, man, this could be the thing that gets me back straight. And so Gravy salty because he gonna be kicked out from living for free. He like, man, forget it. Hand me another beer. Meanwhile, we see back at the aquarium, Kev is kicking it with his new little homie, and they talking about all these little fun shark facts about how they never start moving or no bones or whatever. And so Kev like, man, how you know so much about sharks? And he pull out an iPad. He say, my school give it to me for free. It syncs up with the exhibits. He like, oh, wow. And so they go outside getting ready to eat, and they see all this little commotion and stuff. So Kev is wondering what's going on. And then he see Jake in the middle pop locking and shaking it like a salt shaker for everybody. Got the little white girls dancing and stuff. And they all cheering them on. Look at Papa trying to jelly roll. And then Mr. Bookman come and cut it off. All right, Soul Train time is over. And so they was about to eat. And then old boy asked Kev if he wants some food from the cafeteria. Meanwhile, we see Reg coming out with this little blunt, busted, look like a damn fake trick cigar the way it was rolled at the end. But anyway, he say, man, this the dude that did it, you show? Big Mike say, yeah, man, that's him. He like, all right, and that's how it went down. He like, for sure. So he go and start disciplining the soldiers. And he like, look, I told y'all, don't sell to her. And then he puts that little busted blunt out on dude's forehead like an ashtray. And dude tried to be tough, but he couldn't handle it. And so he get down. He said, don't nobody sell to her. I told you that. But take y'all ass inside. Get this nigga some cocoa butter. Meanwhile, back on the south side, back downtown rather, they all eating. And Kev come to eat with his boys, and he got spaghetti and meatballs and garlic bread. And right away, Papa is salty. Man, how you get such good food, man? Meanwhile, we see the alderman taking pictures with the girl Jerica hooked up. She done got her apartment. And so she said, I couldn't thank you enough. And then Jerica like, well, this publicity would be enough. Alderman would be thankful for it. He like, yeah, this bitch. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is great. The publicity and the story is great, but I definitely could use your vote. And so when they leave, she like, thank you. I'm sorry for how I treated you. And Jerica says, no, it's okay. I just wish I could do more. She said, well, actually, you can. I know some other people you may be able to help. Meanwhile, we see Miss Ethel with the baby Jordan. She happy. And they said, man, she ain't complained once all day. And Ronnie said, yeah, I know. I should have had a baby a long time ago. They said, you ready for the night? I got some reservations downtown at the seafood place. And she says, oh, downtown. Oh, okay, fancy. Yeah, I'm ready. I gotta go home, get dressed. He said, come here. And he take it to the side and try to sneak kiss or whatever. And so they sneak kissing to the side, and they all happy looking forward to tonight. So later on, we see Brandon, and he come home and he see Jerica moving furniture around. He's like, man, I thought we was done with the Marie Kondo. And she like, no, I got a meeting tonight. What's this? Did you get the information? And so she got the information about him selling his building. And she say, well, after all the bills is paid, you may have 20,000 after, and it was worth 175. And he like, what happened? He like, well, Mr. Perry want to invest, and I want to be an equal invested partner. She like, ooh, that's big words. I'm proud of you. He like, well, I'm trying. You know, I don't. If he pay for everything, then he owns it. And he says, I'm just thinking of our future. She like, really? He said, yes. I thought you was hiding something. He like, huh? No, I ain't hiding nothing. She like, all right. Just call it a woman's intuition. And he's sitting back as he know he is hiding something, and he's stressing. Meanwhile, the kids' field trip is over. They leaving. And Kev asks his boy, hey, man, you play PS4? You got it. What's your gamer tag? So they switch up. He like, I'll ball you in 2K. He like, all right, man. So how's the school? He like, it's cool if you cool with being the only black kid. Meanwhile, they trying to get Jake to come to their party. They're like, come on, little Becky. Like, hey, come on. You can dance. We got Kanye's DJ coming. He like, oh yeah. He like, I ain't never been on the north side. Meanwhile, we see later on, Jerica and the ladies is all having a meeting, and they talking about how they was getting pushed out the apartment. Grandma talking about my grandson was selling marijuana, and even though the charges was thrown out, they still evicted me. And so Jerica's like, well, have you guys went to the press? They like, we did that. She like, have you went to the court? We did that. She like, well, have you tried this or that? They like, we did this. She says, well, you know what? I see you guys have been around the block and tried everything. And then Big Mama say, are you a lawyer? What can you do? She said, I took the bar, but I'm not a lawyer. And right there, and they like, well, this is over. So they leave. While she's cleaning up, she happens to come across her old bar review information. She picks it up, start giving it a little skim through, and then she starts to decide maybe she may be a lawyer again, take the bar exam. Meanwhile, we see back in the hood, we see Reg, and he's sitting there smoking, got two little sexy things he playing with, breathing on them, and then he hear a knock at the door, and somebody banging on the door, and they see it's Brandon, and Brandon shook like fake booty meat, and so he let him in. He like, man, what's up? And he says, man, I don't know, man, Otis Perry, man, what's going on with that? He said, welcome to the company. He like, I ain't want to be in no company. He said, hey, look, man, don't you got a girl? Don't you have to pay, don't you have a problem paying for stuff? He like, man, I handle my own. He like, yeah, but can you handle hers? It's easy to be the bad guy. Make that money and chill. Meanwhile, we see Ronnie, and he's getting his little suit what he gonna wear together when he hear a bang at the door. He goes to the door, and you see that it's Jordan mama, and she's all upset, and she's saying, what happened? I've been calling. You're supposed to be here 2 hours ago. He said, I didn't know. My grandma, she turned the ring off when she go to sleep. She said, well, look, Ronnie, I appreciate it, but you don't have to do all this. He like, I'm sorry. Here's the brochures. I wasn't meaning to do all of that. It's a simple mistake. And she like, look, Ronnie, you don't have to do all that. I appreciate it, but you ain't even Jordan's real grandma. You wasn't even Jason's real dad. Thanks, but no thanks. He's like, I'll come by in a few days. She said, no, you just give me some time. And then she leave, and then Miss Ethel come out, what a baby. Is she gone? It's your fault. You turned the damn ring off. And then he leave, and she looking feeling bad because she knows she done messed up. Meanwhile, we see Emmett, and now he over there eating his mommy leftovers, and he asking her, where you going? You better not be going on no Tinder date. She's like, boy, I go on a date I want to go. He like, mama ain't supposed to be going on no date. She said, look, I'm glad you enjoy my cooking, but you tell me what dress you think look best. And he say, I don't know. I ain't telling you nothing. Who you going on a date with? She say, I'm going with Ronnie. And he said, what? Ronnie to kill Brenda's little brother? I forbid it. You can't go out with him. Are you crazy? And she say, look, he's trying. He's more than that. And she says, look, I don't think that's a good idea. You better not sleep with him. But if you gonna go out, get the red dress with the black shoes. And so he leave and she's smiling a little bit. Meanwhile, Ronnie's struggling, getting ready, and he's stressing with a lot on his mind. And then we see he's stressing about when he first met Jason, and he's stressing about his no good daddy across the street. And then he started rubbing his head, that stuff starting to shrink and wrinkle up. And then he started thinking about how Jason was laying there dead, and then how he had messed up and he had killed Coogie and shot him in the chest. And now he really stressing that damn vein in his head. It's like he about to bust a membrane. Looked like the Nile River popped out his head. So he go to get a little drink, but he put it back because he needs something a little harder. Meanwhile, we see Doodah with dinner with Mr. Belvedere serving him up, and then old boy say, hey man, how you got Mr. Belvedere but you ain't got no Red Rooster hot sauce, man? What's up with that? And so Doodah say, man, I appreciate you breaking bread. Now you know how serious I am. He say, yeah, I appreciate it. And what we need to do, we know Reg is the one that raided one of our houses. We want Reg. And he say, well, he's taking care of his brother by himself. He say, man, that ain't my problem. Either you handle this, that's my terms, or you know how this go. And he leave, and now Doodah in a situation. Meanwhile, we see Ronnie getting some milk and flowers. I don't know what that's for. And then she say, is that all? And he say, he got his eye on these two little shorties. And he say, you know what? Give me two little shorties right there. And so she give him the little drink, and she put it on the counter. As soon as he get outside, his bottom's up. He down them little bottles of syrup and no problem. And so he go back inside. He need a fifth, but he's starting to feel it, knocking over stuff, wobbly, about to drop it like it's hot. He go outside, turn that baby bottle up like it ain't no tomorrow. And so now he leaned up on the side like a little hobo, half drunk, holding the building up, wobble up into the middle of the street, damn near got hit by a car, and then he get behind the wheel, about to be hell on wheels. So later we see Kev playing PS4 with his new friend, and they talking about sharks. He like, look, we ain't at the aquarium, bro. What's up? You want to play something else? He like, yeah, that's cool. What's up? What you trying to play? And so Kev digging his book bag to get the game, and them bags of weed was on there and fell out. And so Kev's like, oh, my bad, those ain't mine. And he like, oh man, it's cool. There's plenty of drugs up on the north side. How much is those? And he like, well, my friend said 30, but it's pure THC. He like, really? Pure THC? I can get 45 for it in my school. Think you can get some more? And then Kev think, he like, I don't think that's the problem. Meanwhile, we see Jericho opening up the door for Ronnie, and here he come looking like the Walking Dead, half drunk. And she like, Ronnie, you okay? He like, yeah, damn, Jay, you look good as hell. What's up, man? Forget going out. Let's just handle this right here. We can stay home. And so he started trying to grab her and kiss her. She like, Ronnie, get that off of me. He like, oh, come here. No, I'm saying. She like, boy, you need to go, Ronnie. Get off of me. And so she fight him off and then push him out the door. And once he out the door, he just leaning there like a, fool. Meanwhile, we see Brandon, and he calling Jericho to his little taco truck. He done put lights up. She comes. She like, what do you got me out here for? He say, come here. And so she come on inside. He help her up. And he like, look, I just wanted to say that it was you. You were my first investor. You're the first one that believed in me, supported me. And I just want to let you know that I love you. And, I know I'm crazy. And it ain't easy to be on my side. I understand. But I want to stand for this because I'm already shorter than you. But here. And he give her the ring, and she like, oh, he like, will you marry me? She like, yes. And she give him a little peck on the real quick, holding him down. And then he slide the ring on her finger, and so they give a little hug. And so he feeling like, okay, I'm gonna make this next level step. Meanwhile, we see Ronnie, and he done got another drink. He over here calling Earl on the side of the building, and then he going to pay the water bill, and he so drunk he damn near refilled his bottle. And so after he did that, he half drunk, looking like the Walking Dead, trying to get back in his rust bucket. And right out of nowhere, Detective Cruz pull up and grab Ronnie before he done kill somebody on the street. And so Ronnie don't even know what's happening. He grab him by the back of that water head and push him in the squad squad car, and next thing you know, he pull off like a little hero. Meanwhile, we see the next day, Brandon is on the truck with Emmett, and so they talking, and Emmett and he like, man, it's good to be back. He say, look, man, that new truck, I think I'm gonna keep it. I propose. He like, oh yeah. He said, yeah, I'm gonna need some more help though now that I got that truck and I'm trying to make these hours. And Emmett say, man, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to quit. And he said, what? What's going on? He said, look, I'm just saying, man, it's not you, it's me. So, and he then Kev, they start playing like it was a breakup or a relationship. He like, why, you gonna still call and text? He say, I'm gonna call and text, man. Don't even worry. And he said, I don't know what to say, man. Thank you. And so then they start laughing and hug, busting up laughing or whatever. And he like, man, that's good, man. I'm proud of you, man. Sonny gave you a gig. He like, man, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you one more thing, man. And please listen. Get your ass some new sneaks. And then they start laughing. He like, man, what you mean? My girl bought me these. Besides, where you sneaking to? Huh? The gym. That's what I thought. And so they bust up laughing and whatever again. And then Brandon don't know nothing about shoe game. And so later we see Reg in the alley, and you see little Jake come out and he get a text from Cody. And he's like, man, could you take me up to the north side of this party? He said, Reg said, you sell them dub sacks? He's like, no. He's like, well, that's your answer then. And then this white Benz pull up. And so Reg go and talk, and we see that this doodah, and he like, man, what's going on, man? It's a delicate balance we got to maintain. You like things loud, we prefer it quiet. He like, no, it ain't like that. He said, why you discipline people out on the street? He said, they were selling to a hype I didn't want them to, my little brother mama. And so Duda called Jake over. He like, what's going on, little man? He like, hey, I remember you had the pizza party at my school. He said, that's right, you got a good mind. How's those grades? He like, they all right. He said, they better be better than all right out there. And then he leave, and then Reg, you tell Reg, man, you did what you had to do to protect your own. I could appreciate that. Something we all got to do. And he pull off, and that put a thought in Reg's mind. Now, the thing is this. It's going to be crazy if Duda is going to let Reg die over what Duda made Reg kind of do, because he made him come up with that 50 stacks in 2 days, and Reg didn't have it, so he robbed those other dudes, the wild boys, and now they want Reg's head, or else it'll be a war. So that'll be interesting to see what Duda decides, because that'll be cutting off the top of his organization. And also, what is he going to do with this Jake situation? Is he going to allow Jake to be an orphan? I mean, it's going to be real interesting. And also, it's kind of interesting to see how Kev is now mixed in with this one boy, and they about to be trying to sell weed at his school. That dude is going to snitch on Kev if he get caught, guaranteed. So I think Kev has made a mistake getting involved with this, trying to sell weed with this boy on the north side. In the end, it's 2 episodes left. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I want to thank everybody that supports me at patreon.com, especially my newest supporter, Chantel V, as well as everybody that's been supporting me for the many months that you have. I wouldn't be able to continue without you. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that like, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace, and I'm out.